So listen, I know everyone's not a fan of preseason hockey, and up until this season, or maybe the last time I was a really big fan was the Connor McDavid year, but with Connor Bedard coming up, I just have found myself watching a lot of preseason hockey in the lulls where there's not a lot of sports happening, and let me just tell you, some of these games for the Chicago Blackhawks have been wildly entertaining, and that's no pun intended for the game we're about to talk about now against the Minnesota Wild. Now last night they played off against Marc-Andre Fleury and went to a shootout, and in the final seconds, Marc-Andre Fleury had one of the most comedic finishes to a game I've ever seen. Now Connor Bedard goes down on a shootout, and by the way, this move was pretty nasty if he had finished it, but Marc-Andre Fleury gets the best of him and sweeps him, tripping him to the ice, and then just taps him on the shin pad and walks away. I mean, if you're not a fan of Marc-Andre Fleury at this point, this is just something that he does on a night-to-night basis. If you remember just last season, the guy was going to try to square up with Jordan Binnington just to get the crowd going. I mean, this dude is a hockey icon for the way his personality is and how strong his game has been throughout his entire career. But this isn't where Marc-Andre Fleury stopped. No. Taylor Hall comes up the ice and he does the exact same thing to another filthy goal scorer. I mean, I can't help but feel bad for the Blackhawks in this situation because Marc-Andre Fleury is just an absolute gem when it comes to the net, but Connor Bedard looked a little bit defeated, and I think that this kind of speaks a little bit more to his game in general and how it's translated into the NHL. He did really well in the prospect game, but since playing in the preseason, it doesn't feel like Connor Bedard is having as much success as he would like to be having. He looks a little bit frustrated out there, like he can't find space the same way he did in the junior leagues, and I think this might be something to keep an eye on as he enters the league. People put these players on such a high pedestal and put so much pressure on these generational talents like Bedard that when they enter the league, we expect them to go in and score the same amount of goals they were scoring in juniors in the pros, and that's just not going to happen. I've seen a lot of people talking about Connor Bedard going in and scoring 40 to 50 goals this season, but I think people need to lower their expectations for how quickly this kid's going to come out the gate. I would expect him to come and have maybe a 60-point season max, 20-30 goals at best, but on a team with a lot of maybe questions about their rebuilding and not a lot of talent, I don't think that it's crazy to think that Bedard might struggle in his first couple games or maybe even first couple months of the season. But I want to know what everybody else thinks. How have you liked watching Bedard this preseason? Did you think it was funny, or did you get a chance to watch that Minnesota Wild scene last night? Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how well you think Bedard's going to do this season, how many points, goals, and assists he'll get, and I'll see you guys in the next one.